All right, before it gets too dark, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I busted up the ice for the ducks. Again, it's been a drought, a lot of evaporation. I should have these waters up to the top because deep water is harder to freeze than shallow water. But you can see inside their area, they've got water that hasn't frozen. Now the top one has frozen, but the bottom broken up. They can get water there. They can get water here. And then I picked a radish that I'm going to have with dinner. Daikon radish, because the frost is going to kill these things. It's going to make them all mushy. And we don't want that. So I'm going to eat some of these things up. This particular one I'm going to slice up real thin and either fry it with a piece of meat or just cook it in a rice cooker with cube it up and cook it with rice. But the greens, I'm going to go ahead and cut those greens up, chop them in little tiny pieces, and dump them in with the ducks. Now the ducks, again, they do have adequate shelter to protect them from the wind, which is up underneath their the water system, which we had to turn off because, and I probably should remove the pump, but it kept blowing a fuse. I think I'm going to improve this system a little bit by putting either some nesting boxes in there or some other boxes that I've seen so that they can have a little bit tighter space to get into. But usually at night, they're all huddled up right here, or they're kind of hanging out in a corner down there, all huddled up together. But it's even though it was like 21 degrees last night, they're doing fine. But I'm going to keep an eye on them. And again, like I said, get them a little bit improved shelter, because even though that's enclosed and kind of out of the way, it's not completely, it's not what I really like for them. I'd like for them to have a more enclosed box that they can get inside of, that it would have a roof on it, and then top ventilation, and then the sides would prevent any breeze or wind. But like I said, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies, and then this is actually deep mulch. And so I just keep layering in more straw, and I loosen that straw up in a pile and put it someplace, and they tend to pick through it and then get into it. But I'm going to get them some greens and get them going. Now, if you want to learn more about this, I'm just learning, so I can't tell you anything about it. But I will show you, because likely those drakes are going to be Christmas dinner. At least one of them is going to be Christmas dinner. So I have processed chickens before. I'm watching some videos on how to process the duck, the Muscovy duck, and it'll be about 7 pounds of meat. There's about a 42%, 43% conversion rate from live weight. And these are about, I don't know, they're about 10, 15 pounds. But we will process 2 at a time just to make it worth getting all the equipment out. Put one in the freezer and one on the table. A Muscovy duck is a red meat, and those ducks are pretty mature. They're ready to go. And then I actually grow them out. I don't raise them from eggs. I'll get 2 more Muscovies or 3 more Muscovies, drakes, and in another order of 5 or so hens, because I'd like to have eggs in the spring. And so we're cycling through. We like to keep a ratio of 1 drake to every 5 hens. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but they're kind of grooming the girls. So the 2 drakes have kind of paired out the 5, and they will lead them around and peck them. They're not pecking them hard, but they're kind of like saying, hey, you're with my harem, and you're with his harem. And that's not they need to each have 5 to 9 to themselves. So we're kind of at the minimum. And I don't know if you can see that on the video right now, but one drake's kind of isolating the girl. And so these are our drake pimps. That's kind of what they are. But like I said in the other video, you got to break that ice up. They got to have fresh water. I want to make sure that they've got plenty of clean water. I want to make sure that they've got deep bedding, because if we pile this bedding all the way up to halfway the side panels here, it just means in the spring we'll have beautiful compost ready to go. But in the short term, they'll have places to burrow into and places to stay warm, because it's like 31 degrees right now. My fingertips are starting to get cold. It does not make you want to do videos because it is cold as anything. So I'm going to get them some greens. I love to chop up some greens for them and just dump a bucket of chopped up greens, chopped up grasses and stuff, and they eat that stuff great. I don't have any yard clippings because it is winter right now, but I wouldn't dump yard clippings in there so much as I would diced up cabbage, kale, tops of daikon radishes, mustard greens, different things like that. I'd rather give them a chunky fodder than the really fine clippings of grass, because while they might eat the grass clippings if they're fresh, I can do other things with that. I could use it as bedding. I can use it as a mulch. But there you go. All the ducklings are getting their water on. I apologize to them for not getting that water clear sooner. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. These are our Muscovy Ducks. Tune in for the Off-Grid Goats program. You'll see links in the description below. And the Off-Grid Cabin program, you'll see links in the description below. And then if you have any questions about what we're doing and growing on here, I'm just, okay, hand over there, duckling. I was just waiting for you to jump up there. Anyway, I can see better in real life than I can see on the screen. Ask your questions below. www.prosperityhomestead.org for personal questions specific to your small farmer homestead, which will help you get up and running in 12 months or less through the programs we have available and the free newsletter at www.prosperityhomestead.org.